Got a question? Hey Jonathan, I am currently a Service Autopilot user. My data and reports show that on average I make 49 per man hour on lawn mowing. I'm 17 years old and make about 7,000 to 8,000 gross per month. That's awesome. I get the sense from both my customers and some things I've heard about some of my competitors that I should be charging more. I'm not sure where you're located at. That would have an impact on how much you should be charging. I also don't know if you're doing residential or commercial. I'm going to assume residential. So my question is, if I make more than 40 per man hour, do I need to raise my mowing prices so as to maybe get more high-end clients as well? Note, I typically charge $30 for a 10,000 to 25,000 net, very important word, net turf square foot area for mowing, and I feel I could get away with 40 to 50, but I'm not sure how this will affect my future growth. All right, so there's a couple things here that make this a little challenging to answer. One is you said that you're making an average of 49 per man hour on lawn mowing. I'm curious if you are looking at a small set of your data or all of your data. If you're making 49 per man hour, and then later you say, if I make more than 40 per man hour, do I need to raise my mowing prices? I don't know, I heard two numbers there, 40, 49, and then the other thing that caught me was I typically charge $30 for 10,000 to 25,000 net turf square feet. So if you're charging 30 then you must be knocking out a property like that by yourself with mowing, edging, blowing, everything. You must be knocking out a property like that in what, 35, 40 minutes? And is that the case? I'm just wondering if all the numbers make perfect, if they all jive. When I hear I typically charge 30 for 10,000 to 25,000 net turf square footage, wow, that sounds really low to me. I in my market would charge, and I'm in an insanely competitive market, I'd be at $30 for a gross lot of an 8,000 square foot gross lot, meaning the house, the concrete, the flower beds, the pool, all of that. Now granted, we're not the cheapest guys in town, but we're above average, but we're still competitive. So when I hear 30 for that square footage, that sounds really low to me. So my gut feeling is going to be, on the limited amount of data that I have, that yes, you could probably get up to that $40 or $50 rate. And will it affect your future growth to raise your prices? Sure, it will. It will, but it could affect it in good and bad ways. A bad way it might affect it is it might be harder to sell some work, but if you have a good reputation, meaning if you answer your phone and you have good quality and you have good customer service, then I wouldn't be so concerned that raising the price would affect your ability to sell. If you don't really have any marketing, and most of the clients you have right now don't really have much money, and so your referrals are all coming from other people that really don't have any money and barely can afford lawn care, and you raise your prices, and that's the group of clients you can potentially serve, yeah, that's going to have an impact. But if you raise your prices and you have good quality and you have good customer service, and you have a market that can afford the higher prices, and the example of that would be they're already buying from your competitors, paying those prices, then you know they can afford it, then no, I don't think that'll affect your growth in any way at all. Granted, you can price yourself out of the market. You can, if most of your competitors are pricing at, let's call it 35, and you're now at 60, yeah, good luck. That's going to be tough. You're going to price yourself out of the market. But that's not at all what I'm hearing here. So I don't see that raising your prices to be of concern. The other thing when it comes to raising your prices, raise your prices on new clients. Test it out, get a feel for it. Don't just, if one or two pushes back, don't get scared. But if you just continually hear over and over and over, and over and over, and you can't sell, okay, maybe we got a pricing problem. But if a few squawk and say, oh wow, that's too high, but a bunch buy, who cares? You don't want to win them all. If you're winning all the business, your prices are too low. You should not be winning all the business that comes along if you're priced correctly. And with a higher price, you're going to have money to grow this business. So you're thinking about this correct, and kudos to you. Good for you for watching the job costing reports in Service Autopilot. That's to me one of the most important, biggest life-changing features in Service Autopilot. And if you don't know, there's two different versions of that report. There's a simple version, there's a version that just has tons of data plus all your custom fields, where you can really do some analysis. So most people don't do that. I mean, a lot of people do, but I'm disappointed by the number of people that don't do that, because that's where you figure out what's going on in the business. And so I hope 49 really is your average per man hour rate. And I hope you're not just looking at a little bit of data. Look at a lot of days, look at different weeks, spring versus summer versus fall. You'll see that your man hour rates vary. So you're kind of looking for an average. But if you're already achieving man hour rates in the upper 40s right now, and you could raise these prices further and the market supports it, you're going to have an interesting business. And that's exciting. So I hope that helps. If you have additional questions, I'll do my best to get those answered. Thanks a lot.